The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Jerry Blass, president of Comply Assistant, and I'm being joined today by Ken Ryer, who's vice president of our operations here at Comply Assistant. Ken, you want to say hello?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is Ken Ryer.
And so we're going to begin. Hope everybody can see the PowerPoint here. We have really good number of attendees today, and it is one of those days that's another big cyber attack that's probably gaining everybody's attention as well over in Europe, and with some presence here in North America with companies like Merck. So another one of those days. So I'm sure that security companies are really going crazy around the world right now. But we're here to talk about another aspect of information security and other vulnerabilities, and in particular, managing your third-party vendor, BAs, business associates, by exception. So I'm going to continue here and first of all, go over the agenda for today. If anybody has, we'll get to administrative in a second. So the agenda is going to cover the administrative information about the webinar, our observations with third parties and other aspects of security over the years, protected health information, locations. There's whenever we do audits, we look at locations of PHI at rest and in transit. Then we talk about why business associate risk management is so important. What is the main problem? What is the potential solution to the main problem? We'll get into some screenshots on that demonstrate some of the automated alerts that we have in our software and sample screenshots. And then we're going to do a software demo of Comply Assistant and Q&A. And we'll talk about how you can ask questions. And then we have contact information at the end of the PowerPoint. So for administrative information, this webinar is scheduled to run approximately 1 hour. It may go a little bit less, but we shouldn't go longer unless you have questions that we need to answer. Everybody is on mute, but you can ask questions in the question panel, and we will address all questions in the order that we receive them. Links to the PDF version of this PowerPoint and the recording will be provided to everyone who attended or registered. And contact information is provided at the end of the PowerPoint as well. So some of the observations that we have seen over the past, let's say since 2009 in particular, with the Affordable Care Act and meaningful use and all aspects of EMR implementations and information security and privacy, is that certainly budget has come into play. Budget limitations have impacted efforts, resource limitations, change management, which is a big ongoing effort, increased threats, and as we're seeing today, as I mentioned before, internal and external, multiple PHI locations, protected health information locations. So what are those locations? Well, we all know about portable devices. The majority of breaches that have been posted on the wall of shame with HHS have been due to lost or stolen laptops and portable devices. There's local data centers and servers, public setting workstations, meaning, for example, in a hospital, workstations that are in public areas like nursing stations. Wi-Fi, then there's remote access, copiers, even copiers have hard drives, and copiers have been involved in breaches of information, email, cloud data centers and applications. And then the reason why we're here today is to talk about third-party vendors. And those are companies that contract with covered entities such as hospitals and get some level of access to the covered entities PHI. They are also known as business associates. It's a high volume problem that is hard to manage with limited resources. So potentially there could be hundreds and even thousands of BAs that covered entities must address from both a legal standpoint and an information privacy, security, and breach notification standpoint. Why is it so important? Well, certainly with Omnibus, BAs became equal to covered entities in terms of HIPAA responsibilities and liabilities. And from a risk analysis and management standpoint, a number of breaches for covered entities have occurred due to BAs. And so therefore, as part of a holistic risk management program, and risk analysis program, covered entities must consider BA risk to be part of that. They must and also demonstrate due diligence in regards to BA management and protection of their PHI, and the BAs themselves must demonstrate due diligence as well, including themselves and also their downstream BAs as far as managing and protecting their clients' PHI. Cs have a legal requirement to protect their PHI that is accessed, stored, and/or transmitted by BAs. So the requirement is to manage high volume contracts and agreements, to consider and protect PHI if it goes offshore, to be informed of BA's terminated employees who have access to their PHI, and also to be informed promptly if there is a breach caused by the BA. And again, the problem is that even today, we've seen that some covered entities do not have a complete list of their BAs and or have not categorized them in risk tiers, which is inherent risk based on contracts. It is difficult, therefore, for CEs to manage this high volume effort with limited resources, even just getting the inventory together. And then once the inventory is together and tiered by risk, going about it in risk order with limited resources is a really tough thing to do. Administering a BA risk management program is not a one-time effort and will require some tough decisions when there are known vulnerabilities. So the solution is something that we believe we have, that we've been working on for many years. We've known about this problem as being part of risk for covered entities and for BAs for a long time. And so in our software, we have given capability to electronically organize BAs and distribute assessments based on inherent risk tiers, assign additional risk and operational compliance metrics based on controls and evidence, along with supporting notes and action items that go to the BA, provide summary and detailed status reports by exception. And basically, management by exception is one of our major goals to help organizations not only with their internal risk, but also external with the BAs, so that management becomes more efficient and you're able to filter into what really needs to be focused on. So things like automated alerts. If you have, let's just say, 100 BAs in our software that are being managed, even if you do not alert them if they're overdue, the software will do that. And this is an example of an email that could go out automatically to remind a business associate that they have to complete their assessment from the covered entity. Some sample screenshots. So this is what, when the VA signs on after they've been credentialed, this is what they see. They see the name of their assessment, description of it, which would be mainly instructions from us on behalf of the covered entity. In this case, we're using ourselves as the example VA. It's a HIPAA high-tech security category assessment, high priority, last update, the progress of completion, and then the actions that can be done to continue or to view the summary or to do exporting. So that's on the BA side. They have no access to anything else but to click on these two action items here to continue or to view the summary. When they continue, they're going to see questions that they need to answer. So they can answer it, they can put in notes, and they can update attachments. They can add attachments to their answer and notes. And those attachments normally are evidence documents. So if they answer yes, they should be providing evidence that, yes, indeed, that is the correct answer, and that should be reviewed and verified. Now, on the inside, you can notice that there's a menu here with functions. This is the other side where the covered entity or companies like us will manage the process for the BAs. We'll have access to a dashboard, and we can see progress, and we can do actions such as exporting and also extensive filtering to manage by exception. These screenshots are in here so that after this webinar today, which is being recorded as well, you will have access to the PDF. You don't have to listen to the entire recording to see the screenshots. These will be included in the PDF. This is also on the management side. So here's a drill down to one BA. And this happens to be us, Comply Assistant. You can see that we have just really begun. It's assigned to Barry Glass, who is my protege, because my name is Jerry Blass. And again, action on it. This here is the contract function. So the software has the ability for contract management as well. and links the contracts to the BAs. So when you're in the assessment, you can also link right to the contracts and the BAAs. Okay, so what we'll do now is we're going to go to the software. I'm going to continue over to the software right here, and I will log in. And so you can see here that I'm now on the covered entity side. So I'm on the hospital side, and I have therefore access to all functions. Some of these functions are not activated because they are meant for internal use in a hospital, and today we're just demonstrating third party. So that's why those are not active. On the dashboard here, if I scroll down, I'm able to see a graph at the bottom, which shows me that I have 2 external BA assessments that have been started, and I have 1 that's been completed. So I can click on those to get to them. I can also click on assessments, and here I am presented with every location, internal and external, but the top 3 here are external BAs. So I can see immediately that I have a BA that has 100% completion here, that has an orange medium risk level, and that I can then drill down on, and I can look at further information. But I can see that it was updated last in February, it was completed on February 17th, etc. Then we have Comply Assistant, that's us, which has just begun, so therefore there hasn't been any risk ratings yet, and so there's no color on the risk bar there. And DC Host, the same thing, it's made some progress, 25%. And then General Health System is an internal assessment location. So again, with the software, you have the ability to do exporting at any point in time and all kinds of filtering, as you see here. And anyone who wants more information around this, more detailed look at this, can sign up for a GoToMeeting. We'll meet with you one-on-one, and we can go through all these filters with you. But just to drill down on the collection third party, so here we have the assessment, business associate assessment, 100% complete. The data was completed. The average risk is at a 22 out of 100, which is on the medium side. Evidence provided has been 61%, and there are 10 incomplete tasks. So now what I can do is come in here, and there's action I can do here, so I can go in and view the report since it's 100% complete. And I'm presented now with the description that actually appears on the email and on the screen that the BAs see when they first come in. And then the demographics around the assessment, comments. We have graphs on documented evidence percentage right here. We have information about how the questions were answered right here. And when you click on one of these, you go right to those questions and answers. From a risk standpoint, again, we have average risk, and we can show what percentages are low, high, medium, not which ones are not required, which ones are low, medium, and not applicable. It shows that we have, again, 61% documented evidence and medium risk. Down here, we have a summary of how each question was answered. 52% answered yes, etc. Who answered the questions? They were all answered by Ken, who I said is joining us today. Answers with notes is 36%. Answers with attachments is 19%. Then we provide a summary of, by the rule, this is based on the HIPAA security rule. So we have in risk order, the sections of the rule, and any tasks that are related to those sections below in the blue font. So we have 3 that are high, we have a bunch of medium, we have a lot of low risk, we have one that's to be determined, and that's the summary right there. Then we come down to the question, the answer to question number 1, the attachments that we will review, the risk category that it's in, the documented evidence answer. There's reference to the question and to the rule, the ability to put in comments, email notifications out to others, and to assign tasks. So we probably have one down here that has a task assigned. So question 3 has 2 tasks assigned. So as we go through and review the questions and answers and documentation and evidence, action items can then be assigned for any further action required by the BA. The action items can also be viewed for this one BA by clicking here. And so it brings up a summary of each question that has action items and what those action items are. And I can look in minimal view or expanded view right here. and then I could click in on one of the tasks themselves and see the information about the task, the history of it, activity around it, and I can add comments to it and things like that. So those comments will actually go out to the BA that's assigned to the assessment. Okay, now I am going through this fast today because I want to basically give a flavor for what this is all about and how it can potentially help your organization. So I'm just basically going back to the dashboard here and again showing you the action that can be done and the filtering that can be done. So there's all kinds of filtering on evidence, documentation, the assessment risk ratings, the inherent risk ratings, that's the rating based on the contracts, third-party locations you could filter in on, internally as well for the internal assessments and things like that. So there's plenty of filtering to get to the information that you want to focus on. Now from the BA side, just to show you that, yes, I'm still here. So when the BA signs on, again, this is what they see. And they do not have any functions they can get into. They're strictly limited to having information about the assessment, continuing it, viewing a summary, and exporting the information. So now we'll go back to the side that I was on, which is the covered entity side or our side. There's also the contract management function, which again is related to the BAs or really any contract that you want to manage in your organization. In this case, we have a BAA contract agreement and information about it. And basically what this all boils down to is typical contract management for workflow. So who gets notified when a contract is coming due for renewal? What do they need to do to either renew it or terminate it? And go from there. They can also create new versions like a version 2 and archive version 1. And so it's a means of actually managing not only the legal aspect of the third-party risk management, which is the BA agreements and contracts, but also the information security, privacy, and breach side through the questions and answers in the assessment. So I am going to go back for a second to Comply Assistant here and just show you so that when we come back in on this, that it's a matter of continuing the assessment. And this is what it would look like to the BA to continue. So here's question 2. Again, they don't have the menu items, but they do have the questions. I'll just skip this. So you can see the routine is a matter of going through each question, answering it, put in notes and attachments. Now the question set is based on the HIPAA rule. It was put together by a partner organization, attorneys in New Jersey called Osheslowski. That's Helen Osheslowski. We get all of our content for the regulations in healthcare from their firm. So we're in the business of producing software. They're in the business of creating the content and adding it into our software. So it is from a trusted source. And in this case, for the BA assessment, there are 36 questions approximately, of which are related to privacy, security, and breach, the bulk of it being security. Now, for those organizations that have yet to totally organize their BA inventory, we do have a template that we can provide, and we can provide this to anyone who's on the webinar today. And so it gives you the ability to put in the names of the BAs, their demographics, their inherent risk ratings based on their contract, right here, high, medium, high, or low, not applicable, and then the business associate information such as the main contact name, last name, first name, email address, etc. And so this then could also become input to Comply Assistant. We can import any number of BAs from this worksheet right into the software so that it can be managed by the covered entities. The other thing that we want to talk about today real quick is the fact that we do offer a managed service, which is the HIPAA third-party information security risk management service. We mentioned a number of motivating factors in the PowerPoint for this, and here's all the bullet points of what we will do for organizations that want to outsource their BA management to us. So we will organize and populate all BA organizations. If it's not already organized, we'll provide detailed training to the BAs on how to properly complete electronic assessments and what to expect. We will assign it out. We will review all the answers and rate the risks, rate the evidence that's provided, and then we present findings to management. So we can also provide this collateral to anyone who is on the call today who would like to receive it. What we'll do is go back to the PowerPoint here. So that's a little bit about the software. And again, the key thing I want to bring up again is that it's a way to manage one-to-many of a high volume of organizations. Imagine trying to manage 100 BAs by sending out 100 Excel files to different organizations and then getting them back, trying to go through all the information and manage it by exception. It's really a hard thing to do, and it's hard to do that over and over again for high volume. So this solution is meant to be a way to make that more efficient. What we're going to do now is, Ken, do we have any questions that came in so far?
No questions have come in so far, Jerry.
Okay. So that either means that I've been really, really good, or I've been really, really confusing. But I'm going to go with the fact that everyone understands what we went through and there were no questions. So that's great. The next thing we're going to do then is go through contact information. In the PDF, you'll see my information here, just basic bio. We have then on our website, if you go to www.compliesystem.com, you can contact us through our website, and you can do that after this webinar. You can just simply email Ken, and his information is right here. So for those of you who would like a copy of the Excel tool to inventory your BAs and to rate them for inherent risk, we'll provide that to you. Anyone who wants a copy of our collateral around our managed service for BAs, we can provide that as well. You'll have Ken's email address, which is right here. And so basically, that's it. And we hope that this has been helpful. We know that it's a big problem for many organizations to manage. We know that third-party risk is a hot topic, and we're getting a lot of interest and new clients that are starting out with just that. Eventually maybe moving even towards internal SRA through our software to be completely organized internally and externally and be ready for audits from the government and be ready to collaborate around risk mitigation action items that get presented during assessments. So with that, I want to thank everybody. We finished a lot earlier than 1 hour, but I think it's a good thing because everyone's busy, so you can go back to your normal work and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you very much.